Whosoever shall confess that Jesus is the Son of God, God dwelleth in him, and he in God. 1 John 4 verse 15. A confession of faith is the cornerstone of Christianity. This confession is required to any Christian for salvation. But it cannot be just a confession of words, it must be a confession of the heart. When we believe in our heart and confess with our mouths that Christ is the Son of God, we are saved. God then abides in us, and we abide in him. Isaiah 53 verse 3 and 4 says, "He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs, and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted." This is a sad verse to dissect. God was generous enough to send his own Son to earth to help us. During his time on earth, Christ healed and helped all that came into contact with him. How did men react? They despised and rejected him. And after his crucifixion, many humans assumed that he was an enemy of God, seemingly being punished by the Lord. How can humans be so foolish, so evil? God knew it all along. And it is for this reason that he sent Jesus to die for us. Devotion topic is, two are better than one. These verses may not seem extraordinary at first glance, but the story is one that caused others to marvel. Zacharias and Elizabeth have a son. Zacharias was deaf and mute at the time, but he was a priest that was well respected in the community. After Elizabeth gives birth, the community waits 8 days to name the child in line with traditions. A local priest helps to name the child after his father, Zacharias, which would be an honorable name. Elizabeth interjects, saying that the boy shall be named John. This act of defiance alone would bring some shame to Zacharias, and I am sure the community must have been embarrassed for him in a way. He was a priest, unable to speak and name his own son, and now his wife denies the name that the priest and community chose for the boy, denies the name of his own father. This is where the story takes its marvelous turn. Zacharias, deaf and mute, asks to write something. Nobody in his name has the name John. He cannot hear his wife say the name as well. He writes on the tablet that his son will be named John. This is more than a coincidence. It is God's will at work. You may have heard the phrase, "Go with your gut." Zacharias and Elizabeth trusted each other, and, more importantly, trusted God to lead them to the right decision. Prayer. Precious Lord, let me return to your word, again and again, for my daily bread. Although I may not always hear you, I am listening. Although I may not always praise you, I am speaking. Help me understand your message so that I may craft a response, singing your praises that echo for all of my life. Amen.